Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. I am your expert life strategist, your host, Karena Calhoun. Super excited today. I have another great episode lined up for you all. I am loving the folks who are loving on the world around them. So, I am having inspiring conversations, educational conversations, encouraging conversations, and today is no different. Christine, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Miss Karina. I am sassy. I am doing sassy. I am be, do, have sassy. That is what
I
I
love
do.
it. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Come on, Miss Sassy. Come through with sassiness. I love it, Christine. So tell us, please do tell us, where in the world are you?
I am in Central Tennessee. I'm about halfway between Knoxville and Nashville.
Awesome. So I have never been to Tennessee, but I've always wanted to go. That is a place that I've seen on TV, lots of little shops and things like that. Now, I don't window shop, so that could be dangerous for my husband, okay, because I'm just going to get it if I like it. So that's one thing that has intrigued me about Tennessee. I've seen on TV and different things and social media, lots of little shops. So Christine, tell us, please, ma'am, Miss Sassy. I absolutely love that, and I love that you have it spelled Sassi. And I'm sure we're going to get into that within this show. So Christine, tell us, how are you loving on the world around you?
I am loving on right now. I'm loving on my grandchildren, my daughter, my animals, just life in general. You have to, it's a beautiful world out there. You need to see the beauty in everything. Those tiny little things, from the plants and flowers and butterflies to my fellow women, my fellow sassy women. That's really where I focus, is helping women of abuse.
I absolutely love the fact that you're focusing on life. You're focusing on the people and the things that are important to you. I was telling someone recently that when you focus on the things that you're grateful for, it helps you to focus even more on the good that's in your life versus the things that may not be so good. And then I might be getting into some things that you might want to talk about. Let me stop talking. Let me
It's
stop
all,
talking.
it's all good, honey. You are so correct. There's those little things that we have to be grateful for. Um,
Yeah.
I've gone through a lot of really dark things in my life. And one thing that
Mhm.
I always try and keep in the back of my mind and help my clients is better or bitter. And I could certainly have gone the bitter route. And there are a lot of people that choose that route. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be sad and angry and walking around with a dark cloud over my head. I don't want to be that person. I want to be a vision of hope, especially for women of abuse. I want to be positive. Um, I want to love. I want to spread that love, peace, and joy. And I want to make sure that everybody, because it's contagious. You can, I mean, look at us, we talk, we have a conversation. You can't help but smile. Okay. When I tell you sassy, when I tell you all about sassy, you're going to love it. You can't help but pick up that contagious, infectious, vibrant life that we have, even if it's just to be grateful for a small cup of coffee. I had my cup of coffee this morning. I didn't have two, but I had my one. What tiny little thing to be grateful for will make a huge impact in your life every day.
So I'm just going to change your name to Sassy. I just want to call you Sassy, if that's okay with you.
You
I
you
have
wouldn't
made
be
an
the
attempt.
first.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So I want to say this. You've actually hit on something that is absolutely near and dear to my heart, and that is having a positive mindset, a positive attitude, which then creates that positive behavior. And I want to talk about this because you said that, walking around better instead of bitter. And one of the things that you really help people with, specifically women, is women who have gone through domestic violence issues, situations. I have been that person 2 times over. And so I understand fully what you're saying and why you're saying it. And I had to make that decision as well. Do I want to be bitter or do I want to be better? And one thing I found, Sassy, is this: it took so much strength, it that to the point where it was draining to be bitter. But once I chose to be better, it was like all of the weight came off, because I fully believe we are designed to be happy, joyful, with peace, not living in chaos. So, talk to us about that, because I have a sneaky suspicion that you are an expert in this, taking that bitter and turning it into better. I want to hear this because Sassy
Oh,
is coming through.
well, I guess to understand, thank you. To understand uh, where I am today, you need to understand what I went through. Okay. And I don't do this for the, oh my gosh. I do it to let other women know that they are not alone. Okay? That what they're going through, I've narrowed it down that there's 3 stages of abuse. And that first stage is you're in the thick of it. You have blinders on. The only thing you are concentrating on is surviving. That's it, to get through day by day. And I went through all that. I've had the black eyes, the bruises all over my body. My wrist was broken, cracked ribs, hair pulled out in clumps. And I was even shot in the head with a gun. Uh,
Oh my goodness.
I know. And and I get asked, how did you survive? Well, that's because of them up there. That's because of my guides, my angels. I've gone through, and that is just in my last relationship. Everything, I've been abducted twice. I've been raped many times throughout my life. And family members that have raped me, molested me when I was, up till I was 4 or 5 years old. I'm a recovering drug addict, and um, I've been through hell and back. Yes, it was that. And even with that gunshot to the head, that wasn't my full defining moment. Been through all that. And even the gunshot wound to the head still was not my full defining moment where I said, enough is enough. That happened back in 2015. I ended up in the hospital in 2016 for almost a year. 4 surgeries, 15 procedures. Um, that was my moment. That was when I mean, supposedly, I don't know, I don't remember, but I was told that I died on that operating table twice. My life is destined to be alive. I've attempted suicide at least 6 times in my life. At least 6 times I've attempted suicide. Now I kid and I joke and I say, did I fail because I'm still here? Or did I succeed because I'm still here? I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm here. And I want other women to know that there are ways to get out. There are steps to take. There is that hope that is out there to be able to say enough is enough. And that's when women like you and I are here. You call it Go Be Great. I call it Sassy. So one of the things that we learn in AA and NA is that you don't get help and you don't seek help until you hit rock bottom. And every woman of abuse has her own rock bottom. You reached it. At some point, you said, enough was enough. I'm done. I'm moving on and getting out of this situation. Unfortunately, one of my biggest pet peeves is, well, I don't understand why you just didn't leave. It's not that easy of a question to answer. It's not that easy for that woman who is in that situation in stage 1 to say, I'm done. She has to get to a point where she reaches her rock bottom and says, enough is enough. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be something better out there. There's got to be, you know, something for me to do to get out of the situation. And that's where that woman seeks help and gets a coach like you, like myself, anybody else out there that says, hey, I've been through it. I know what you're going through. I know what stage you're in. I know where you're at with your life right now. I can give you the tools and techniques and strategies to help you achieve getting out of that abusive relationship.
Absolutely amazing. I love it. And, I applaud you for taking these situations that have happened in your life and turning them into um, plausible stepping stones for other women who are able to now say, I didn't see how I could do it. I didn't have the strength to do it. But now I have someone that can show me the way, but not just show me the way, but that can help sometimes have that faith when I don't even myself have that faith. And I think that is so extremely important because when we continue to live this false in our lives that, oh, everything is great, everything is wonderful, there's no issues, I've just had a Cinderella life from the time I came out of my mother's womb to the day that you see me. I've just had this, Barbie has taken the world by storm recently, and so I've just had this Barbie life and everything is good and everything is wonderful. And you know, I mean, just bubble gum and roses and just all of this nauseating garbage. I don't hate to say it. I say it. I say it because it is what it is. But for someone to come and say, this is what I dealt with. This is what I encountered. This is what I lived. Now I want to help you. There's no shame in what you're going through. There's no shame in the fact that you've been in it for however long you've been in it and you've not found your way out. I can tell you from the standpoint of someone who endured domestic violence that, yeah, you do have to get to the point where you're able to crawl out of it sometimes. And we have to be able to look at people and not look with a judgmental eye and say, why don't you just leave? That is to me the most immature, inhumane question you can ask someone who's in domestic violence. Stepping down off of my soapbox.
I'm sorry. This is I agree with you 100%, Miss Karina. Okay, this is such a passion of mine because of all that I've gone through and all those steps that I didn't realize I was taking at the time. But as I healed and got better, and obviously physical bruises heal. Okay, I mean I still have a scar over my eye. I've got scars all over my body. I've got the scar from the gunshot wound. Those physical wounds heal, but it's the mental, the spiritual, the psychological ones. Those took a long time. And I analyzed that as I went through. I analyzed what steps did I take? What did I go through? How did I get to Sassy? And then I went, how do I help every other woman out there? Do you know that the statistic for women is 1 in 4 women will experience some form of abuse in their lifetime? One in
Wow.
four. And over in the
Wow.
UK, it is much worse. So
Mm,
it's been my mission through my speaking engagements, through my coaching, to help every woman, no matter where she is in that stage of abuse, whether she's in stage 1, which I said was, in the thick of it, I can help there. If she's in stage 2, she finally got out, but then she went, okay, where do I go from here? What do I do? And the biggest one being, who am I? Because we lost our identity when we were in that
mm.
abusive situation. And now
Oh
she
my
gets
goodness.
out and she goes, who am I? Where do I go from here? What do I do? What is my path? What is my purpose? So that's where my coaching really kicks in. But I do teach all 7. Okay, so before I get ahead of myself, so so
Well,
Sassy,
it's you are excited and passionate about what is in your heart, and that shows. So by all means,
thank
yes.
you, thank you. Okay, so Sassy stands for strong, assertive, smart, sexy, and independent. Okay? Those are
Mm,
the acronyms for Sassy. Every woman, I believe, and I've seen it, every woman has that essence within her. That woman of
mm,
abuse had it squashed and almost extinguished to where she doesn't recognize herself anymore. So Sassy comes in, and what I've developed is the 7 steps to Sassy. That's part of one of my courses that I offer. That I've narrowed down to those 7 steps to take. What did I do? How did I get through? I talked to other women, talked to other and men also that have been through this. I've talked to them. I've analyzed it. What are the 7 steps that we need to take to say and to get to be, do, have Sassy? And yes,
mm.
part of my thing is ruffle some feathers and blow some minds. I really do.
Sometimes you need to. Sometimes you absolutely need to. And I tell people, and I'm so thankful that you said that. I express to people that when you are leaning into who you are, your authentic self, I liken it to when you have a knickknack on the shelf, on the bookshelf, and say you haven't dusted in a week or two. Dust has settled on that knickknack, on that bookshelf. And unfortunately, that's like we have been. We have been put on this bookshelf and we're just sitting there, our true self. We're not being who we're supposed to be. It's on the shelf and it's collecting dust. Well, when we take that knickknack off that shelf and we begin to become ourselves, our authentic selves, what happens? Dust and debris begins to fly. And that's what's happening in our lives. The people that love us, that are the most closest to us, they begin to experience a little chaos because they're like, who is this person coming off this shelf? Where's all this dust coming from? What's going on? And so I'm thankful, Sassy, that you are leaning into your purpose and you're helping the people to navigate all of this chaos. You're helping them to navigate really being their authentic self, because that's really what it comes down to. It boils down to being your authentic self, independent of society and what the world says, and really losing that identity crisis that has gripped us so tight. And so I want to ask you, when someone comes to you and says, I would like to talk to you about the services that you provide, what does that look like? What does that initial journey look like? Is there some type of survey that they fill out, an intake form? Do you do a consultation? What happens when I come to you and I need your services?
So here's the thing. A lot of women, when they first realize that they need help, okay, and they're ready to ask, okay, and I say that the 3 hardest words in the English language for us to say and put together are, any person, doesn't have to be an abused woman or not, I need help. So when they finally get to that point, excuse me, you can reach out through Facebook, you can reach out through text, you can, I mean, I am all over the place. Email, we then start a conversation. I don't push because there's still, you mentioned it earlier, a lot of the shame, a lot of the guilt. I find that if I meet them on their level where they are at, they are much more comfortable. But yes, it's a series of questions. I call it the Sassy quiz, but it's a series of questions that when that person gets comfortable, we go through and we talk, we have a conversation. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? What type of abuse are you experiencing? Are you calling for yourself? Are you calling for a friend? You know, and because we need to help our friends, we need to help our fellow women just as much. So yes, there's that initial consultation. We talk, I say it's an hour long, but you know what? If that woman needs to talk longer, we talk as long as we need to. If I need to do a second follow-up phone call, we do. If a woman's not ready, I check in with her once a week. I send her a text. I send her an email. Hey, just checking in with you, making sure you're okay. Do you need anything from me? I have been up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, having conversations with women, talking them off the edge, because that's where our thoughts go to when we think there is nothing left to live for. We start thinking thoughts of suicide. How do I unalive myself? How do I end this misery? And I've been on those conversations 2 and 3 hours where I will not get off the phone until she is okay, at a little better place, understands that, because I've been there. Life is so worth living. I don't see it when we're in that the thick of it, in that stage one area of abuse. We can't see it. We don't know that there are better things out there. There's a better way to live, that we don't have to put up with this. We don't have to endure all that mental, physical, psychological, sexual abuse, the financial abuse, everything. We don't have to do that anymore. So I will reach that woman where she is at, on her level, when she's ready, how she wants it. The
I love
easiest.
it. I
Thank
absolutely love it.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, what is you have a website? Do you have a website?
My website, it's sassycoach.com. It is currently being updated. I hope to get that going here shortly. The easiest thing is send me an email, Christine at sassycoach.com. One of the things that, if you want to put in "go be great" for the subject line, and that's it, I will know that they saw your show, they listened to our conversation, and that she's ready for whatever her next step is. We all have different steps to get to Sassy, and then we find out where she's at.
Absolutely love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Christine, Sassy, Miss Sassy, any last words of wisdom?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked. This is one of the things that I absolutely love. It's a quote from Edward Everett Hale, and it says, "I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something that I can do."
I love it. I absolutely love it. Folks, this has been another amazing episode of Go Be Great with Coach Karena. And we've had Miss Sassy, Coach Sassy on the show today. And I encourage you, when you listen to this episode, go ahead and share it. It is imperative that we get the word out that there are people who are standing by, waiting, literally waiting to help you walk through to your next. Whatever your next is, we're not going to define that for you. You're going to define that, and we're going to help walk you through it. So, thank you so much, folks. And I will see you all on the flip side. Bye, folks.